There's only a couple things underneath here that's just dead obvious that we don't need. So we got exhaust hangers right here on an electric car for your exhaust muffler. Every electric car should have that, right? So we can shave these off, I figure. Got them right here and here. And over here we have on the suspension here, we have a couple of these. Got this right here. I think that's for mounting the sway bar or something, but we don't have that on this car, so we don't really need that. It's actually pretty thick metal, as you can see. Alright, so after using a cut-off wheel, I took off some of this stuff right here. I wanted to get in there, get a little closer, but the grinding wheel couldn't get in here. There's kind of a tough area right here. You can't quite get in like this. It's just not, the wheel's not small enough, so I couldn't really get in here. But at least I got some of it off, so something's better than nothing. It's pretty easy to do. So here's what it looks like with them cut off. It's a bitch to cut them off, but it's actually pretty thick steel. It's kind of tight confines right here too, but it just barely works with a 4.5 inch cutoff wheel on an edge grinder. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Nice and clean. So here in the rear, another thing that doesn't make any sense to me, we have these brackets right here, right? This one's for the e-brake that goes right here. But then if you look over here, what the hell is that for? It's like, it looks like it's the same size, yet what is it for? It doesn't make any sense. It's just sitting there, just dangling on there. It's pretty thin. It's not going to weigh hardly anything, but still, I mean, grit and dirt gets in there. You know, it's like stuff could get caught up in it. You know, it's just something dangling on there for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe I'm speculating that maybe this car has, you know, some of the cheap car or base models have like drum brakes. Maybe that's, if you have the drum brake, maybe that bracket works there, and then maybe this one's just dangling on there. But either way, on this car, we got what we need. It's functional. So what the hell? We don't need this? Cut that shit off. And then another thing over here, we have, you know, in this car, of course, we have the pins. So, you know, this is kind of like an idiot-proof device to keep you from putting the rear wheels on the front and the front wheels on the rear. But there's still people that use aftermarket wheels on these cars, and they put the equal sizes on the front and the back. It still works. It's still fine. It's not going to dramatically change anything. So, either way, I have stock wheels. I know which ones are on the front. I know which ones are on the rear. So, yeah, we don't really need these stupid pins. I mean, there's a solid pieces of steel. So we'll take those off too. And here's what this looks like over here. So I cut that thing off. Kind of hammered it off. I just used a hammer. Sledgehammer works pretty well. And then I took those pins off of here. So all this weight is on the suspension too. So this is all unsprung weight. So although it's very little weight, it is a little bit, and it all adds up. So if you're going to take weight off a car, a good place to take it off is off the suspension. So here in the front, there's really not too much to take out. We're going to take out the obvious, these little pins right here, these stupid little pins that are on here. Those two, and then the only thing else that I see that could be taken out is this little thing right here. There's one on this side that's being used, and then there's this one over here that's not being used. So we'll go ahead and take that out. Okay, those come out pretty easy. 12mm wrench and a vice grip is all you need. Kind of cleans it up a little bit. So here's what a Fiat 500e console, lower console, mid part of the car interior looks like. So we've got the gear selector cover off. We've got the whole mid cover off. We've got everything off over here. And so one of the reasons why we're doing this is I'm trying to take some extra weight out of the car here. So we got some. So that silver box right here is the, as it says on it, it's the audio pedestrian warning system. So we're going to unplug that here and move. So all I did in the past is I removed the speaker. That's the actual sending unit. So it was probably drawing a little bit of power to send out a noise to the speaker. So I mean, it might actually be some significant amount of wattage, you know, because stereo systems do use actual wattage. So I don't know how many watts. Maybe I could bench test it just to see. Might be kind of interesting. But Anyway, that's out. So I noticed a couple other things unique to the electric model. It looks like they've welded a bracket here, hand welded that on here, and this is the actual mounting for the plastic cover right here. These have been added, and then what's been left over is the old mounting bracket right here. This thing is not doing anything. Neither is this. So one could cut off right here and just cut that steel out right here. Same thing over here, cut this steel off because it's not doing anything. It's not doing absolutely nothing. It's just dead weight right here and here. So only problem is I can't really get in here with my edge grinder on my cutoff wheel. I don't, you know, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to bother. If there was a way I could get in there and cut that, I would, but it's just, I'm not going to make a bunch of sparks here in the interior of the car. I mean, that's messy. One thing, you know, it's one thing to do it underneath the car in the back. You know, I made quite a mess back there too. But inside, hell no. So, yeah, that's about the only weight right here to take out. And then, might be able to take out a little bit here in the console area too, like this inner seat thing. I know I've had a continuous noise problem here in this car where you have to pull the seat belt up tight. Otherwise you get this squeaky noise. Actually, maybe that's what's doing it. So another thing that really annoys me about this car, it wasn't a priority, but now as I'm kind of coming back and going for the second pass here, this amplifier thing, it's just like the tom-tom on the car. Like, they don't design the stereo to have an amplifier. Oh, we'll just tack that on in the cargo area here. Don't mind about taking up maybe a cubic foot of cargo space here. You know, I mean, they made it look tidy enough. It looks factory and everything, you know, but still, nevertheless, it's like, why the hell does it even have to be here? I mean, the speakers are over there, head units in the front, 12-volt batteries in the front. So why have all this wiring? Why have this thing all the way in the back? It's like stupid. If anything, take this out, and we're going to put it underneath the front seat, down low, towards the front of the car, you know, closer to the speakers and the head unit. And then kind of, we should have plenty of wire, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, also, another thing over here, I've been using the factory back, I guess, latch for the back seat here. The latching points for the back seat for my cargo net, just as kind of a quick solution. And but now that I've had more time to look at it, I don't really need that strong of a bracket. That's a pretty heavy piece of steel there. Here it is with the cover off. See, there's quite a few wires down here. Looks like we got like a red positive wire, black negative over here, a bunch of wires in the middle, probably speaker wires going out maybe. And then we have some other wires coming in, probably signal wires coming in. That's what I think that is. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Total destruction. Took the wiring loom apart here. Basically, this all mended together, all kind of wrapped together. So I just took those stereo wires out and then separated it from these other wires all along the path here. So these were all kind of bound together with, like, they had some of these tie straps periodically at different places. There was a ground right here, those clips along the way here. So you have to basically get to the whole bottom of the panel, or to the back of the panel here, having the bottom down there to get it's all running back here like this. So I've already took that apart, and this is what we have now over here in the front. So the only wire that I'm going to be keeping here is the intact is going to be the green wire, which goes back to the, as you can see right here, it kind of follows back to the left or the right rear speaker right here. So that's the green wire. So just instead of it going backwards, now it goes forwards. So this is one of the connectors right here, and then these are the other speakers right here. We've got these, you can see the kind of this yellow, orange and purple sets here. So those kind of match over here, going back down into the car here. So this is where the wire runs right here. So I've got all this excess wire now. Here's the wires for the speakers, all cut and ready to be mended together. We took off about 5 feet of wire. It's This should add up to maybe a pound or so. But it's just going to make it a lot easier, a lot tidier down here when I put the amplifier underneath there, so we don't have all this giant coil of wire. So for these other wires, I went ahead and did the red power wire because that's the thickest wire. It's probably the heaviest. It probably weighs more than the rest of these all combined. So I definitely did that one, but these other wires are all kind of very thin gauge. And I also found something that's kind of interesting. It looks like there's groupings of orange, green, yellow, and purple, just like the speaker wire. So I think what this is actually this is the signal wire for each individual speaker. So what happens is from the head unit, it goes from there into the amplifier, which is what this goes into. So this is the input, and then of course this other one over here is the output to the speakers. So I think that's what we have happening there. These are really small, thin gauge wires. It's kind of, I don't think it's worth the hassle to even reroute those. And then we have a couple other wires too. These are mystery wires. I'm not sure what those go to. Some other kind of signal. Yeah, not sure. But anyway, I think we'll leave it like that. And then of course we'll reuse our ground wire right here. There's a ground location right here that we can, right there. So I used some duct tape to just periodically tie all those wires back together. And now we can just set that stuff right out of the way here. Tuck that back. Put the back panel back in. Now we're ready to proceed on. So I went ahead and duct taped all this stuff, wrapped it underneath here. I went ahead and took that plate off on the back there, that mounting plate, because I didn't really need it. And so here it is right here. So I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of tucked in there. This is with the seat fully forward. It's just wedged in there, so it actually fits perfectly. It's actually nice and snug. So I don't think it's even going to be a problem while cornering or anything. I think it should be just fine. It's all padded all the way around, so even if it bounces a little bit, it's still going to be on carpet, so it should be fine. And then of course, if you ever want to get to that connection right there, all you have to do is take the sill plate off. You don't have to take out the back panel again. That's, you know, you don't have to do that again. So it's just like one screw over here, another screw over there, and a bunch of clips. There's like 3 or 4 clips that it goes down, so you just gently pull up on it, and that way you can get real easy access to it again if you want to upgrade this amp. You know, if you want to put a bigger one in, or if you want to do some customizing with the stereo or whatever, it'd be real easy to get to. Right, so here it is, 100% done. I had some extra black carpeting from my rear seat delete, so I just tucked that in there, and as you can see, that hides it pretty nicely. You'd be pretty hard pressed to see that when you open the door, unless you're looking for it. Okay, here's the back area all back together again. Looking pretty good, I have to say. Not too bad at all. So in the front of the car, there's several little pieces that could be cut off and cleaned up a little bit. Although it's all kind of tricky to get to. We have a little bracket right here. Little bracket right here that's kind of just not doing anything. Got a piece right here that's not doing anything. Got a little piece right here that's not doing anything. And then the one that stands out the most is right here at the control unit right here. See, this thing is just not doing anything at all. Here's what it looks like once it's been modified. I cut the bracket back a bit. Looks much cleaner. Alright, so there it is. All laid out. This is all the crap we took off the car. Also, we have this over here, some of the bigger pieces. So that's it. All gone. So let me go over some of the weights here for your information if you want to do some of this stuff yourself. These 2 plastic pieces here, both of them combined 12 ounces. The little module here is 5 ounces. The audio pedestrian warning system module, that is. And let's see here, this pad thingy, this is under the front passenger seat, or actually front foot space underneath the dash. That's 7 ounces. The amplifier case in the rear of the car, that's 11 ounces. We got the seat bracket mounts here, the lower ones. Now these were a bitch to get off, but they do come off using pry bars and pneumatic tools. You can kind of pry away at these guys. These are the things that hold the lower seat brackets in place. So once this is gone, you have a nice smooth floor in the back now. So it's nice to get rid of those things. Obviously, we won't be putting those back in anytime soon. So those collectively, let's see where we at here. 1 pound 7 ounces for both of them. And then the back seat mounts right here, I left those in prior and now I took them out. So that's 1 pound 7 ounces for both of those. And then of course we have the exhaust clips, or little exhaust hangers in the back. Piece of crap little things. 4 ounces. That was not very much weight. And then here for the rear suspension, all of that stuff. Actually, this was kind of a nice surprise. Each side was 9 ounces. So that being one side and that being one side, 9 ounces. So total collectively 18 ounces. Now this is off the suspension though, so this is unsprung weight. So if you're going to take weight off a car, that's a good place to take it. So actually taking a whole half a pound, well actually 9 ounces off of each side, that's pretty good, I think, for something, coming off the suspension. I mean, people spend a lot of money on getting lightweight wheels, and they shave off a pound or two off of each rim. Well, okay, we took off a half a pound right here off of each rim, so to speak. So, it's something. So that, along with some lightweight wheels, would, really collectively add up to even more effective results. So, and then over here, the amplifier, this whole kit, the case was 11 ounces, like I said before. This is all this stuff that you see here. This is 1 pound and 3 ounces. So that's the brackets, the wire, all the little clips and everything. And then over here, this is the front of the car now. So this is the bracket for the CPU that I took off in the front there, that you really, it's just extra crap, you don't need that. That's 12 ounces. And these little clips here, this was only 1.5 ounces right here per side for the front suspension, so not as much of effect on the front as with the back. So yeah, and this is just some extra. This is some of the extra leftover from the wiring loom. I didn't add that. That doesn't add up to anything. It's like an ounce or whatever. I don't count that. It's like I put a little bit back on when I taped it again anyway, so it didn't really make any difference. But anyway, that's what we got right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and weigh the car, put it on the scale, and actually see what the actual weight is. Now, since we changed the weight distribution a little bit, we'll see how much the actual weight difference is. Okay, so here it is up on the scale. Now, I don't know if I covered this last time. I don't think I did with the owner's review, but I did weigh the car when I bought the car, and it weighed 2,962 pounds. So before I started taking all this stuff out and everything, and of course, with our latest 8.5 pound removal, and then the armrest I think was about 2 pounds as well. So I think that collectively gets us right here. So we're at 2832 or 31. I guess it's bouncing around a little bit. So that's 130 pounds off, or 131 pounds, I guess. And that's our weight distribution there. So you can kind of see how that changed a little bit too. Most of the weight did come off the back of the car, as you would expect. So 42.3% rear and 57.7% front is our weight balance. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe if you did, and many more videos to come. This was actually in the trunk. I had my windshield screen, and I had a moving blanket in the back that I forgot about that was in there because I was hauling some other stuff. I wanted to protect the carpet, so I forgot that was in there. So that actually takes off another 3 pounds 4 ounces. So yeah, 3 pounds additional off the back.